Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho and I'm here bringing you some magic, and today I'm going to be playing Boon, which is one of the newer decks that has come out recently, and I'm not sure, but this kind of looks like a keep. Maybe not. Maybe this isn't a keep. I'm going to go for a new one. I only have 2 lands, and the first things that I have to play bounce my stuff. Yeah, this one looks a lot better. Okay, so the way I built this deck is a lot more mid-rangey. I was thinking of building it extremely aggressively, but it's actually even less mid-rangey and more of just like a control deck, sort of. Sure, you can get yourself a Phantasmal Bear. I think I'm actually just going to kill it here, just to play around Lord of the Unreal. Never mind. Actually, yeah, Skyfisher, like, I don't want to return a land here, because I want to be able to play a 3 into a 4. I mean, I can return a creature later with Skyfisher, like my Stonehorn Dignitary. I guess I'll show you the cards in a second, but obviously, you know pacifism, you've seen it, you know it, you love it. Of course, Skyfisher is 1 and a white for a 2/3 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield, you can return, I guess I should pass a turn, you can return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. You have to, though. So when you play it, if you don't have anything else, then you have to return a plains, and there we go. That's exactly what I was worried about. Another land, and Flicker Wisp. I could play Stonehorn Dignitary. Okay, so Flicker Wisp, I'll show you. I think we've already seen this one, but it's 1 white flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you can basically exile something, and then it comes back into play. And then this guy, when it enters the battlefield, target opponent skips his next combat phase, which is kind of sweet. And then this thing just destroys all tapped creatures. So there's really nothing here that I want to play. I'm going to replay my Stonehorn Dignitary a couple of times at least. Of course, Skyfisher is also... Ooh. Okay, so I actually can deal with that. No, I need another Flicker Wisp and 6 lands. But, I mean, I can just slow the game down to the point... Ooh, Healer of the Pride is definitely a nice one here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Healer of the Pride here. I can start gaining some life back, so his attacks aren't such a big deal. And basically what I'm hoping is that I can keep like making him skip combat phases, and then like I'll also have a 1/4 to block, and then eventually I'll be able to Sunblast away his creatures. So he's going to be able to hit me for 4 here, but I mean, I'm only going down to 14, and I'm doing alright. Okay, so he has nothing to play here. Alright, so I'm just going to drop this Stonehorn Dignitary here. Hopefully it'll resolve. It doesn't look like it's going to, though. I mean, it's not like an incredible spell that he can't beat if it hits the table, but it's also pretty good for me if it does. The good thing about Core Skyfisher when you don't have extra lands in hand is that it basically ramps you. So if I play it next turn, I can pick up one of the lands I tap, replay the land, and then play a 3-drop, which is kind of sweet. Another Healer of the Pride. Sure, let's go with that. And he's got more counters. That's not a surprise since he does have 3 lands, or 3 cards in hand, and he hasn't played anything in a while. But he's just gonna let it resolve, sure. Okay, so I mean, Healer of the Pride is one of the cards that I think is pretty important for this deck, because you're gonna be playing your things and bouncing them a lot. So yeah, I mean, I can just play Core Skyfisher twice next turn and gain 8 life. Bear, sure. And that thing is pretty big. And he's not going to attack, sure, that makes sense. So I did draw the land, but I don't think that's really going to do much for me here. So, let's see. Enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent. So we're going to just play Core Skyfisher. Is he not going to let this resolve? I would be surprised. And maybe I'll just return... What am I going to return back to my hand? I may just return Core Skyfisher. Can this return itself? Yeah, it can return itself. Yeah, I'm thinking of just bringing it back, because it doesn't really do much for me on the board. And then... yeah, I'm just going to play it again, and then return a land. But just like being able to, like, I gain 8 life, he attacks me for 8. So, all right, so he's just gonna counter it now, but with Dream Fracture. That works for me. I don't really know what I was doing here. And then I'm just gonna play this Soul Warden out. So, any creature that enters the battlefield will gain me 5 life, which is kind of sweet. And if he just attacks me next turn, I can play Sunblast Angel. Unfortunately, these two Healer Prides are doing a pretty good job of making him not want to attack with his Lord of the Unreal, which means that Sunblast Angel won't be as good. But still, if I ever get my Mirror Battlesphere out, then should be pretty much good game there. I mean, he would have to send multiple guys at my face to do anything about it. All right, so I gain. Oh, this only works when creatures enter the battlefield under my control. Sure, alright, you can hit me for 4. That is acceptable. But I feel like my late game is going to be better than my opponent's, because he's playing Illusions, which, I mean, he could be playing the big Illusions deck. Alright, that is something that I definitely wanted to draw. He could be playing the big Illusions deck, but it just seems unlikely. So he's got 1 card in hand. It might be another counterspell, but if he's countering Solemn, that means he's not countering Mirror Battlesphere or Sunblast Angel. So we're going to gain some more life, go get a land, and then just pass the turn right back. So, I mean, fortunately for me, I saved Flicker Wisp, so if I ever do get to use Mirror Battlesphere, then I can flicker it and then draw another 4 1/1s, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, I mean, once I play this thing, that's going to be 5 creatures entering the battlefield, gaining me 25 life. Oh, sure. I mean, I have absolutely no problem with this. He's attacking me for 12. I'm just going to absorb some of it. The Solemn isn't doing me much. I'm just going to play and I get to draw a card when it dies. And I'm going to play a Sunblast Angel. Hopefully he doesn't have another counter. But even if he does, we'll still be okay. Duplicant is another sweet card for me when it enters the battlefield. I can exile something and then I can flicker it and stuff like that. So I'll be okay. If he has a counter, he's going to use it here. Fairly obvious, but alright, so we're definitely taking some damage here, and I'm probably just going to chump block with my Soul Warden next turn. But all I need to do is draw 1 more land and have him not have a counter, gain my 25 life, and then start killing him with that. I could Duplicant, but the only thing that I can target is his Lord of the Unreal. There's another Lord. That is not good. I do gain 1 life for it, but yeah, I really need to draw land and resolve this thing next turn, or draw my other Sunblast Angel. Okay, so he's just going to attack me with those 2. That'll definitely help in terms of buying me another turn. But yeah, I'm really hoping that he doesn't have another counter. It's pretty unlikely, and that was a very, very happy draw. Alright, he's got nothing. So it's not going to be 25 since I chump blocked, which may have been a mistake. But yep, we're going to get some more guys, and then we have 2 Flicker Wisps, which I can't use both of them in the same turn, but still should be pretty useful for me. And it also provides a pretty decent blocker. I might just play a Duplicant next turn. Mind Control. Sure. Normally that would be really scary, but I have 2 Flicker Wisps, so I can just flicker it. But that would normally be very, very scary. I mean, I guess not really. I mean, he's just taking a 4/7 because it doesn't really do anything unless he controls Mirror. So, does it make sense to even? Probably not. Probably doesn't make any sense to chump block. I'm still at 30, and I'm going to gain more life next turn, so. Sure. Thank God this thing is not a Mirror illusion. See what I did there? It was like a play on words. Alright, so there's a Sun Titan, which should be really sweet. But for now, the play is still Flicker Wisp. Yeah, counter it. I dare you. I don't care. Use your Force of Will or something like that. Let's see. So he's already countered 3 things. Like, he can barely even have any more counters in his deck. Alright, we need to make sure to target Mirror Battlesphere. Oh. Wait, it can target... Choose a creature to exile? That's weird. It should be able to target any... Under control. Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to do here. Maybe he has an unsummon or something like that. Which would, like, he can unsummon my Mirror Battlesphere, make it go back to my hand so I can't play it until next turn, and then maybe counter it on the way down or something like that if he's got another counter. Ovenize. Oh, okay, that's pretty good too. Wait, what? I don't think that's gonna work. Alright, so what I was thinking of is Flicker Wisping this, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to flicker my Mirror Battlesphere when this thing comes back. But I'm just going to try it anyway, just for funsies. But, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that my Mirror Battlesphere is still going to come back, even though he Ovenized that. Because it's not worded the same way that... yeah, I can always just do that. It's not worded the same way that Fiend Hunter is. Yeah, okay. So, this is looking like a game that is going to be hard to lose. So I flickered my Flicker Wisp, which is just going to come back next turn and flicker my Mirror Battlesphere. It'll come back at my end steps, so I'll be able to... Well, actually, that might be a little bit awkward. I might not want to do that. So, did he play another Phantasmal Image here? That's pretty funny. Alright. So if I flicker this, then I won't be able to attack with it next turn, but I'll gain some more life, so that'll be fine. I don't really need to attack with it until it's big enough that I can just kill him with it anyway. So, we could go for a Core Skyfisher to return a Flicker Wisp to hand. I think I'm just going to duplicate here and get rid of one of his Lord of the Unreals. Though they're not that scary, to be honest. Yep. And then we'll ship the turn back. Get our Mirror Battlesphere. And now we have 12. We have 12 of these things. So all we need to do is flicker this 2 more times, and then we can just kill him. If he attacks with that, then that would help. Alright, so that was a good draw. So now we can just drop our Sun Titan here. He's out of cards. And then I'm going to go get back my Core Skyfisher. Then I'm going to return my Flicker Wisp to hand. Play my Flicker Wisp. Flickering my Mirror Battlesphere. And now we have 16 of these guys. And we can probably just attack with the Battlesphere next turn. Even though I won't kill him, I'll take him down to 4, and then the next turn I can just swing all out with all my guys. Sure, you got yourself an Illusionary Serpent. I'm at 112, by the way, in case you guys were keeping track. Healer Pride does some work. It was definitely a card that was necessary for me to win this game. Healer of the Pride. But I think it's time for me to go on the offensive here. He's definitely going to be able to easily block this thing down. Yeah, I guess I could just play Core Skyfisher and Flicker Wisp and then just kill him next turn. Anyway, that sounds like more fun, to be honest. Alright, we'll gain some more life for the Skyfisher entering, then we're going to gain some more life for the Flicker Wisp entering, and then all we have to do is just find our Mirror Battlesphere amongst our myriad of creatures, and then just attack him next turn, and then use the Mirror Battlesphere's ping ability to kill him. Yeah, whenever it attacks, you may tap X untapped mirror you control. If you do, Mirror Battlesphere gets +X/+0 and deals X damage to defending player. So I will just kill him straight away before he even has the opportunity to block. There's another Core Skyfisher. But I think you guys see what I'm trying to do here. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Alright, that's better. But, I mean, I don't obviously plan to win by tapping 20 mirror every game. I don't plan to win by tapping 20 mirror every game, but it is something that is doable. And I actually just attacked 1 time that game, and it was for lethal, which was definitely pretty sweet. So I guess I'll show you guys my deck list. Normally I would do more than one game, but that was a pretty long game, and you really got to see what the deck was trying to do. And I mean, I played against a top tier deck that had a very, very good start. It wasn't, yeah, it was actually pretty much a nut draw. I mean, like, remember he played the Phantasmal Bear on turn 1 into Lord of the Unreal into like Phantasmal Image plus Counterspell backup. So I mean, I don't know, it worked out pretty well. This deck just runs a lot of creatures. As you can see, it only has 4 other spells. But yeah, you want Soul Wardens in there because you're going to be playing your creatures a ton, and every time you play them, you gain life, and that's how you stay alive. It's not like a regular control deck where you're able to deal with their threats or like play really good blockers that deal with their threats. You're just going to be able to keep gaining life and then making their attacks and stuff unprofitable. And there's the Skyfisher, which you saw a lot of, which is just an overpowered body at a 2-mana 2/3, so you can just start winning the skies if you want, and then it also allows you to return creatures to hand in the late game, lands in the mid game if you don't have enough and you want to play more stuff, or it can just return itself and then you can keep playing it to gain a ton of life. Fleece Mane Lion is the same thing, except it's got flash and it's a 2/2 for 2, so it's less, it doesn't fly, it's worse bodied, but it's got flash, so that's pretty cool. 2 pacifism. I mean, you need more removal, but this is what we got, so work with it, deal with it. Blade Splicer is 2 and a white, and when it enters, you can put a 3/3 golem into play, and then it also says golems you control. Golems you control have first strike. So basically, you just play this guy, and he makes you a 3/3 every time you flicker it, and then you can either overrun them with 3/3s, or sometimes they're 3/3 first strikes, which is pretty sweet. I'm only running 2 of the Emancipation Angels, which might be wrong, but I didn't really know what else to take out, and it just didn't seem that good. But it's basically the same thing as Core Skyfisher, except it costs 3 and it's a 3/3 flyer, so it's a little better. I'm running all these Flicker Wisps, which is pretty sweet. We saw it do a lot of work in just flickering my Mirror Battlesphere a bunch of times until I had enough mirror to just swing out and kill him. Core Hookmaster is pretty decent at slowing the game down, tapping down their biggest threat and making sure they can't attack, and then if you can keep flickering it, then that's pretty good. Solemn is nice. It allows you to get to your late games. When it enters the battlefield, you can search for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield, and then when it dies, you get to draw a card. Resto Angel, unfortunately, we only get one of these, which is basically just Flash Flicker Wisp, which is really cool because you can do it in response to them targeting your stuff. So yeah, it's just a really cool card. A couple of these Healer of the Prides, you saw them do work. I think that they're actually really important for this deck to succeed, which is strange because I don't even think I played this card in M13 Limited when it was available. So anyway, Stonehorn Dignitary, you saw it. I didn't really get to do much with it, but it would have definitely helped out in terms of slowing the game down to the point where I can completely slow the game down, or just like kill all his creatures with a Sunblast Angel after he attacks me once. But yeah, I mean, just play this thing, keep flickering it, and then your opponent becomes sad. Cloud Goat Ranger. You get to put Kithkins out when it enters a battlefield, and you can make it a flyer. This guy's pretty sweet. And then the card that really is the glue to this deck that would have made me win about 25 turns earlier is Cathar's Crusade. It's 3 white. Whenever a creature enters a battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So if you play a Mirror Battlesphere on this, all of your mirror that you just played out, as well as, well, actually not all of them would get +5. They would all get +4/+4. But actually, no, if you stack the triggers correctly, then it would work. Never mind. The point is that your creatures are going to get gigantic if you play a Mirror Battlesphere or a Cloud Goat Ranger or something like that. Duplicate is just some nice removal, and you can flicker it to get more removal. Sun Titan is sweet, and it does exactly what you want, which is get your things back. Like maybe you had to chump block with a Soul Warden early on in the game, and you want it back for your late game to just be gaining a ton of life and stuff. So that helps out there. Sunblast Angel is just really good in stabilizing the board, since you don't really have any sweepers, so this guy pseudo works as a sweeper. And then you got Captain of the Watch, which you guys have probably seen before, and a Mirror Battlesphere. So that's the deck. Notables, I guess, that I didn't include. I was thinking of including this one, but I just feel like 3 creatures is going to be too random, and like a lot of the time it won't work. This thing is also reasonable. It's like a weird Honor of the Pure. and sometimes it's good, but generally it's going to be worse than something like Honor the Pure would have been. What is this? Whenever, yeah, that just seems bad. It's just, this guy's just like a flyer that sometimes gains you life when other things enter the battlefield. I mean, you can keep flickering it for 3 life, but I feel like there are better things to do. This guy I didn't even look at. He's just so expensive. Alright, so it is a sweeper. I honestly am curious to try that out. But chances are, if you're surviving until you can cast something on turn 8, you don't need a sweeper, you need something else. So, sure, you can make one of your guys big on one of the turns where you play a lot of stuff. I already talked about. Man, it's Patient Angel. I don't really see why you would want this. I guess like if you can get it into your graveyard, then it's pretty good because you're going to have a bunch of 1/1s and stuff. Herbis Protector is sweet. Wait, did I just... No, I didn't. Herbis Protector is sweet, but I feel like the 6 mana things, I think I'd rather have 3 1/1s, destroy all creatures, exile something, or Sun Titan, but maybe not. Gold Knight Redeemer is also pretty reasonable, to be honest. You're gonna gain a ton of life off this card, and I mean it's just hard to take out one of the other 6 drops for it, but if you're having trouble surviving, then this might be the card that's very important just to continuing the game. This guy I don't really... Alright, I mean, I guess he gains you a bunch of life, but it's not going to be as much as Gold Knight Redeemer, probably. Lone Missionary. Again, if you're having trouble surviving the early game, then this is a good one. I haven't played much with this deck. I think this is actually one of the first few games that I played. So, but still, yeah, you should try this guy out if you're having trouble surviving. This guy, I mean, he would be good if you're playing really aggressively, but I'm not playing an aggressive deck. Attendant Knight, I looked at and I was like, yeah, this card's okay, but it's really just okay. I mean, it doesn't do much unless you have Heal of the Pride out, and it's just basically worse than every other card in the deck, so that's why I didn't include it. Court Street Denizen is very important if you're playing a really aggressive deck. You just play a bunch of guys, tap all their guys, and kill them. Gamba Skyguard, I mean, it doesn't do anything. It's just like a Windrake that gains you 2 life. That's not what this deck is trying to do. It's trying to do a lot more powerful things. I wouldn't hate you if you were playing Solemn Offering, because that's sometimes really important in this format. And then finally, Welkin Guide. Alright, I mean, that's a pretty interesting ability. If you can flicker this thing a couple of times, then you'll probably kill them. If you can like send a 2/2 up in the air, make it a 4/4, and then keep doing that for a few turns, and that'll work. But the art is adorable. He's just like this weird bird thing that's wearing armor and a cape, and is just carrying this dude, and he's just throwing him at the enemies. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video as well as the gameplay and the deck tech. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Bye.